Shabbos, we're holding at 6 Perek. We're up to Daf Mem Beis Amud Aleph. Right, we've learned the Mishnah V'loi be'ir shel zahav. A woman should not go out on Shabbos with a city of gold. Obviously, this is a sort of ornament, a tachshit. Rabbi Yehuda Amar, Kigon Yerushalmi did have. The ornament made of gold, which is made in the format or the appearance of the city of Yerushalmi, whether it looks like walls of some kind. Some say it's a sort of laurel crown that the woman would wear on her head. And there was a gezerah, remember the ataris color, the crowns that the colors wore, made of leaves, I presume, where there was a gezerah after the churban not to wear them. And some say this is the ir shel zahav, which means it's some sort of thing they wear on their head. And according to them, people can't use it on Shabbos, and the colours can't go anytime. But it was only gezerah on the colours because of the extra joy they have at the time of the marriage, where anyone else could wear this thing. According to Rashi, it's not a sort of crown, it's some other ornament. So it's not the same ir shel zahav mentioned with the gezerah of the colours, okay? So let's see. Rabbanan Kishin Amri, they said there is prush toik taklin, which means, and they bring about Rabbi Kiva. He married Rachel, and he was an Amaretz, and there was a neder forbidding him from all the wealth, and they were very poor, they had nothing to wear, and she took the straw, and Rabbi Kiva would gather the straw from her hair of Rachel, and to comfort his wife, he said he'll give her, if he gets rich, he'll give her Yerushalmi Shabbos Daf. And in the end, he did become rich, and he fulfilled his promise. So he made this ir shel zahav. So that's maybe not the decision. Maaseh Rabbi Kiva. We have a story. Actually, I didn't say what Chuk Shel Saklin is. Sorry. So they say here, it's not the one made as Yerushalmi, but it's a plate of gold, which has got a format of Yerushalmi. As I say, maybe some sort of wall feature or something like that. So Prush means it's a design, type of a form of taklin of the city, right? He made this ornament for his wife. Chav say it's a Tej of Gamliel. The wife of Gamliel saw it. The Kaya's she was jealous. Asked the Mama's going about it. She said to her husband, she said, I want one. He says, would you have done for me what Rachel, the wife of Rabbi Kiva, did for him? She was selling the hairs on her head for the sake of making wigs of some kind. And she would give him the money for their parnasa, and he would learn Torah. So she went so far, whereas you, wife of Rabbi Gamliel, you've not gone so far. We've learned elsewhere. Shanayim. The two things they said the Talmidim before Rabbi Kiva, B'Shem Rabbi Lezer, Yosef Ish v'Ish al Zahav. A woman can go out with this golden ornament. People who do pigeon racing are puzzled from giving evidence. And Rabbi Lezer allows women to go with the ir shel zahav, and our Mishnah forbids it, but also agrees that a woman who went in the street with the ir shel zahav, she doesn't have to bring her chatas. Right? Tani Rabbi says yes, she's liable to chatas if you go with this thing, but it's considered a load. It's not considered an ornament. Now, between the Chachamim, which is our Mishnah, who says you can go out with it, and Nicha, I understand. Remember Chayev. Sorry, the Chachamim said you can't go out with it. So Remeh says you're Chayev, and the Chachamim said it's patur, but you mustn't do it. Fair enough. They're not so far fetched. The two opinions. They're not so far from each other. Ben Rabbi Lezer Rabbana Nicha, and Rabbi Lezer Matir. Rabbi Lezer allows it, and you got Chachamim who say, look, it's Asim Rabbanan. Fair enough. But then you've got two extremes. Ben Rabbi Lezer Kasha. Remember Chayev. Remember says you're liable chatas. And Rabbi Lezer Matir, Rabbi Lezer says, go ahead. So it's such machlokes, two opinions so far away from each other, that it's very hard to accept. And I'm afraid the Gemara does not answer the question. There are others, Noam Yerushalmi and Penei Meir. The Bavli actually gives an answer to this question. Okay, we'll move on. I haven't looked it up, apologies. Okay, now we forbade a woman to go out with certain things. Where is it she can't go? So when they said a woman should go out, if it's a problem with Hitzah, even the courtyard, private domain, because you might walk through the private domain and end up walking through the street. Wherever they said you shouldn't go, and if you went to the street, you're not chayav chatas, then you're allowed to go out in the courtyard. There's no chashash. You'll go in the street, even if they did it, it wouldn't be a malacha min haTorah. Okay. Now, according to Rebbe Lezer, a woman's allowed to go to a chatzah with anything where there's no chayav chatas on the yitzir to Rishus Rabbim. We bring support to him. Rabbi Bar Kohen. My namesake. B'Shem Rav Sheshes. Masnisa Amra Kohen. The Mishnah later on tells us this. It says a woman could go kavul, could pay a nachris with the wig and so on, b'chatzah in the courtyard, even though she can't go with it as street because she might take it off and carry it 4 amas. But since there's no chayav chatos on actually going out in the street, and therefore it's mutter to go into a courtyard like anything where going to Rishus Rabbim is not chayav chatos. Yeah, if it's not chayav chatos in the street, it's only a gezerah that you might show it and carry it. Then in the courtyard it's fine. Even in a place where they say laite say, a woman should not go out. And if she went out to Rishus Rabbim eno chayav chatos, asura latzis by lechatzah. Even if there's a problem, laite say, still you can't go in the courtyard. He's stricter. He says if you do this, you're going to have to carry on walking, and then she might remove it in the streets and carry it. Now a woman can't go with various tafshitim. She might remove it, show it to her friends. But with a man, he doesn't care what he's wearing. He's allowed to go out in Shabbos because no chashash is going to show it and carry it. Well, it's a question. Is there a problem with a man or not? We learn from the following. He went walking in his courtyard. He had a thing of gold, like a ring of gold. They all told him off because he was wearing on his finger like a tachshit. So you see, even a man, it's a problem to go with tachshitin on Shabbos. Hada Amra, this tells me also the shem tachshit also that if it's made as an ornament, it's forbidden. Hada Amra, it also tells me you can't go even something also lekach if it's made for dual purpose, a key of gold, which is an ornament and a key. Hada Amra echad isha, no difference between men and women. Hada Amra, and it tells me even they said a woman can't go, and she went in the street, she would not be chayav chatas. There's no outside, any rabbanon. Still, asura lot says by b'chatzah. Still, it's forbidden to go in the courtyard mid rabbanon. Okay. If Reb Gamliel was not chayav chatas, and it's a tachshit, so when it's on his finger, it would be derech malbush. It wouldn't be he wouldn't be carrying anything. But they still told him off. The fact that he went to a chatzah. So it's a right to lie. You cannot go in a courtyard, even in something where the street would not be chayav chatos. Right? According to the Rishonim, it's mashra, the man is included in the issur of ornaments on Shabbos. Right? Based on what we've said. And then the Gemara said earlier on that men don't really care what they wear. So why is it a problem? They're not going to show their ornaments to their friends, right? We said before, men are different to women in this respect. But even so, they're still included. Yeah, the reason of the Gezerah might be different, but there's still a Gezerah not to wear these tachshitin on Shabbos. Or maybe, according to the early Gemara, they forbade tachshitin only for women who are really proud of their things. But it could be this Gemara argues and says, no, it's forbidden for men as well. Okay. The Balamoy reads from the Rosh. The Maskana, men have the same prohibition to wear tachshitin. And it's not only with things made for men and women. It's only with those which are made for men and women. Because they forbade it for women, they forbade it for men as well. Right? The Ramban says the Gemara wasn't sure, didn't have a suffix if the Issur to go tachshitin included men. It's already decided in the other Gemara that it's because of the women is a problem. There's only a problem with the women. There are things that Chachamim forbade even for men to go in the street. That's something which can be a noi and a keli. With a Torah you can go out with it because it's a tachshit and not a load, but with Rabbanan you can't because you might remove it to use it and you'll forget you'll carry it 4 hours. Okay. Let us continue. Halacha base, let's say ish b'sanan mezubah. A person should not wear a sandal made of wood, the top part is made of leather, and you have various nails which are being pushed into it with big thick ends to strengthen the connection of that with the sole, and the nails stick out a bit into the ground. Not with one sandal on one foot when your other foot is not wearing any sandals. When there's no wound on your leg. If you've got a wound on your leg, then you can go with a individual sandal. But lo b'tefillin, a man should not go out with tefillin, lo b'kamiyah, not with an amulet. Yeah, which has got shemus and various things, all types of grasses, because you'll hang it, that people hang it on their neck for refuah. If it's not been checked out, that is actually a valid working one. Lo b'sirion, which is like armor. Lo b'kasda, or a hat which they wear, helmets they wear in armor in battle. Lo magafayim, which are shoes, like metal shoes, when you go to war. If you did go with these things, you're not chayav chatos, because they're considered a malbush, yeah? They're not considered a load. You wear them, the issa is only rabbinical. So why did they put gezerah on the sandal with the nails? Now you'll remember, there's the story in Bavli, right? The story in Bavli talks about the people hid in the cave, and then they were worried, they thought the noise of the shoes, they thought there were people, enemies coming in to attack, and then everyone was running, and people got killed in that whole process. And that happened, and that was the story in Bavli about the sandal. And they put gezerah, and they said the gezerah is only on Shabbos. No, this is where these things. That's the story in Bavli. They hid in a cave to keep the mitzvahs. They heard the noise. They thought it was the enemies were coming in. There was a big mehuma gedola. They pushed each other and killed each other more than what the enemies had killed. All right. Whether the sandal made the noise or something like that, or someone was walking the other way with it, I don't know exactly. So let's see what the Yerushalmi says about this. Why did they forbid sandal and masubah to wear this thing on Shabbos? Some say, now, they saw, the women who were pregnant saw the top of this sandal, which has got this very sharp edges, and they were like frightened from it and lose their children. But some say the book Gezerah, they heard the big noise of this sandal, they would lose their children out of fright. So these first two answers are to do with fright. And some say no. Because the story where they hid in a cave, they thought the enemies were attacking, and because they were in shock, and they were pushing against each other and killing each other, right? With the sharp edges, they used the shoes to kill each other, which is a bit more similar to the Bavli's story. Okay, now what's the difference between these reasons? So the one nafkamina is dius dusta, a type of sandal which hasn't got this sharp thing coming out of his edge. Man, the one who says the gezerah was shoy, they saw the sharp edge. But my parents lose their children, mutter, then it's permitted, because it hasn't got the sharp edge. Man, the one said the gezerah is shahayu, shoy by skoila, my parents, they heard the noise and lose their children. Oh, they were pushing each other, killing each other with the shoes. So then you can't wear the shoe, because these reasons are shaykh also with the dusta. It's also got nails that stick out, which make a noise. So that reason still applies. People pushing each other, they might kill each other with these nails that extend beyond the sandal. Okay? Now, now surely there was a gezerah at the time of Shmad that they shouldn't, it was all because of the time of the Romans attacking. This was something that happened then. Look, that reason doesn't apply anymore. You should wear this shoe. So he said, "Lo, my based in a bit." No basing got up and rescinded the decree. If that's the case, then I feel a bachol, even a weekday. He says, no. It's not the way of a person normally trained something. No one has two pairs of shoes. One for weekday, one for Shabbos. The Ben Ish Chai has actually got a tshuva in Torah Lishma, where someone's asked him, "Do you need separate shoes for Shabbos?" And he says, "No." And his raya is from this Gemara here. It clearly says you do not need to have, you tell all the wives out there, you do not need to have Shabbos shoes. As I state, Maybe this is when they couldn't afford it. And if we're buying all different stuff, maybe we should have it. But the fact is, the Gemara says it's not the derech to have Shabbos shoes. That's what it says here. Okay. Tony, what were you saying?
It says the person's got to put his priorities, that's all.
It's what?
Got to have your priorities.
Yeah. Tani, we learned to the price. Tala alav matlis from the matter. If you covered over the bottom part of the sandal from underneath and the nails are not visible, mutter, then you can wear it on Shabbos. Because those reasons don't apply. His leg was a bit ground. He basically needed to wear a sandal to shield his leg. But after leg came, and they made him one like this, with sort of cover, in order you can wear it on Shabbos. Now the Gezerah was on, it's got one, we've got these nails which strengthen it, right? How many nails should be there? You can wear it. Because these things are just, they're just for beauty, really. How many can you have where we say the extra nails are just beauty? So let's see. Rabbi Yochanan, he says, Chamisha, you need 5 nails. It's permitted, you can have 5 nails, like Chamisha Sifrei Torah. And Rabbi Hanina, he said Shiva, 7 nails. As it says, Uchyomecha Dabecha, that metal and so on in your days. Basil Choshes Ben Alecha is the nails in the shoe. And then Uchyomecha Dabecha, remembers to your days, which is 7 days of the week. Nagin Rabbanan Kadot Rav Chanina, they had a custom of Rav Chanina that they go with a minal which has 7 nails. Darav Rav Chanina allowed to wear on Shabbos and Sunday, he's got Tisha, 9 nails. Rabbi he even put 13 Bezer in one shoe, and 11 Bezer in the other one. Kaminyan Mishmaris, to make the 24 Mishmaris of the Kohen Levim Beis Mikdash. As Remez, it says Gemashmaris Netuim. We're comparing the Chachamim to Davonis, to spears, and to iron spikes, as it were, Masmaris, Basil, like, things of metal. Instead of Mismaris with a samach, which means a nail, imagine it's written Masmaris with a sin. There's a remez to the 24 groups. Okay? Ma Mishmaris Esrim Rabbah is 24. Af Mishmarim Esrim Rabbah are also the other nails in 24. Rabbi Yosef Hanina, he says, Kalivis. Now this is sort of a horseshoe of some kind, sort of bent round with 2 edges, which you put in wood. It doesn't add to the number of the nails. So now you're going to ask me, what's this about shoes? Why do we need a whole problem of Shabbos wearing this sandal? What is going on? Now, it's not my question. It's the Ben Ish Chai's question. Yeah, we know there was a story and they were hiding, and I accept that. But there's a bracha we say every day. Sha'asali kasaki. So, and the shoe. So there seems to be some significance of the shoe. What is... And then one says it corresponds to 5, 7, 24. What was? So at an esoteric level, which is beyond me, he says like this. The Ben Ish Chai writes in Od Yosef Chai Halachot. He says like this. And if you can get this clipped out, and I can send it to the different groups, if you can do that. So, on an esoteric level, he says like this. Hashem provides us with abundance through the energies of Tiferes and Malchus. Tiferes and Malchus, and through these are several of the spheres, Hashem gives us all these energies and abundance through them. However, the Tumah can affect them. They have Makif or Panimi, they have inner energies and concentric energies, and the Kali, as it were, the impurities can attack that abundance that comes down. So what does Hashem do? He brings out something called Chashmal. Now, Chashmal doesn't necessarily mean electricity here. It's some deep, holy level which comes out of Bina, which is a higher sphere, and it encompasses Tiferes and Malchus. It sort of surrounds it. And it even surrounds it, as it were, this is all deep stuff, but it even surrounds it from the bottom. And from the bottom is like a shoe. So we're thanking Hashem for that Chashmal that comes from Bina, that covers Tiferes and Malchus even from the base. And that's the idea, he says. And there were different Chachamim said, that idea is idea of 5, or it might be an idea of 7, or it might be 11. And these are ramozim to this Chashmal from Bina that surrounds Tiferes and Malchus. Now that's what he says. I can't really explain it more than that, but that's what he says. Okay. where are we now? We are Rabbi Yosef and Chanina about Klivis. We said 8 million. That's not included in Masmerim. It's not included the number of nails. There was no gezer on that sort of thing. Rav Zira Shah Rabbi Bob Bazapta. Ma'hulit name. Can you put these nails al gabi sandal echad on one of the shoes? Amalei Shari is allowed. Ma'hulit name. Can you put it al gabi mino? Can you put the nails on a shoe, not a sandal, but on a shoe? Amalei Shari said it's permitted. Now, other laws of Shabbos. Ein megarin, you cannot push away the mud or other dirt from your min alim and sandalim, your shoes and sandals, on Shabbos with a knife, because through that you're peeling off the skin. And mamachik. And you can anoint them with oil and wash them with water. Rabbi Crispa, they said Harishonim, the early Talmidim hayu oimrim megaradin. You can use a knife to peel a bit from the shoes, but the Talmidim Shneim, they said they said no, you're not allowed to do it. It was a problem of tanning the skin, peeling off the skin. Yeah, like old ones. Chadash and the new ones, the skin is still tough and they won't be peeled off easily. Okay, the Isht Chalat, and the question was asked to Rav, but Amar, and he said Emegad, he said no, you can't do it. Amar of Zira, Ha'azila. One of the things they said in the name of Talmid Rechei Agadol, they said in the name of the Talmid Rishonim, they allow it, but Rav is from the other Rishonim, he forbids it. Rabbanan Tekisrim Shem Rabbi Yosef Chanina Kedim Rabbi Shuaima Megaridin, like the one who says you can do this on the shoes, but Vad Lacheres, and you use the back of a knife, which is not as sharp and it won't peel off the skin. We were sitting in front of Rav, Mashchin and Meshazgin, and we would anoint to wash our shoes. Of a low megadim, we wouldn't sort of peel them off with a knife. You cannot put oil on new shoes with oil because melachas ma'abed. Don't start anointing your foot, and it's in the new shoe. Don't anoint your foot, sandal is in the new shoe, because the oil is going to come on the skin of the shoe. You can put your oil on your leg, but nice and then put it in the shoe. But it's ragla, put it in your leg, but nice and put it in the sandal. Sach shemen, you can put oil on your body and it's agel, and afterwards roll around al gabe katablaya on like a spread there, a leather spread. A new one, you don't have to worry. But then al gabe tabla shel shayish, don't put this leather garment on a table of marble with agel and roll on it, because it looks like your intention is to tan the skin well. And he allowed it. You should not wear new shoes unless you wore them because we're worried, unless you wore it before Shabbos, you'll suddenly become uncomfortable and you'll take them off and carry them. How much do you need to go with them before Shabbos so they're considered used? But they said be base rabba from the base medrash to Bakabara and base rabbe, so the base medrash Rabbi Yeshua. So they said the shul of the Bavlim Adate till Kuyad and Rechom Machanina. Tverei they people of Tveria said Sidra Ruba from the base medrash Gadol of Tveria ad Chanus Sidra Rabbi till the shop of Rabbi Yeshua. Now, sandal shenifseku oznav. A sandal shoe which is tameh, where some of the parts of it have come apart, the things that hold the straps together. Shenifseku chavotav, various other pieces have come apart, which you use it to wear the thing. Shenifseku terisiyasav, various straps have come apart. One of the sides of the sole has fallen away. So it removes its tumah status. It's not called a keli anymore. However, niska achas me'aznav, one of the handles a bit, or achas b'chabatav, one of them, the majority of one of the sides has fallen, but not all of it tameh, then the shoe is still considered tameh. The tumah has not disappeared. It's still considered a keli, so it still remains its tameh status. Yeah. Rabbi Yehuda, he said, apanim is tameh. If one of the inner parts broke away, then the tumah has not gone away. If one of the outer parts, then the tumah has gone away. Rabbi Yaakov Shabbos like him. So if one of the parts has fallen away, it's not a keli, and you can't go with it on Shabbos. He had a story. He asked to ask him, can you wear the shoe on Shabbos? He said, but Tumah, just like Tanakam and Ravuda argue as far as Tumah aspects, Kachen Chalukim Shabbos, they argue about what's considered a load on Shabbos, and is it still considered something you wear? But you pass out the Chacham like the Tanakama, if the outer part's broken, it's still a sandal, and you can go with it on Shabbos. Rabbi Shmuel bar Rabbi Yitzchak Bai, Ushama Meima, now Rabbi Chia Baba, surely he must have heard that Rav said, Halach Rabbi Yehuda. And he passes out Rabbanan. Ravach by Yitzchak Kabalei Uvda, he had a story. Shalach Sha'al Rav Zira. He asked Rav Zira, Zira Shalach Rav Bibi. Amalei Skadiri Mishu Metame. According to the Tanakh say the Tumah is not going away. It's still called a sandal. Mutter. You can go out lots of this, you can wear it on Shabbos. Kadiri Mishu Metame. The Rabbi Yehuda who says, look, it's not a sandal anymore. It's not a shoe anymore. Then also lot says, well, you can't go out with it on Shabbos. Well, I pick every club. Zero really didn't say anything clear la halacha. He didn't say who the halacha is like. Tani learns at a price, so you should not go with torn sandals on Shabbos. Aval, if they were torn when he's going in the outside, metal ubahen, you can wear them until you reach the door of your courtyard. They never said you have to take them off outside where they're not be guarded. They were going in the streets. If Saksandele, the strap broke, means a matter lepile when they reached the gate of the courtyard. Ravacha Amalei said, this is your entrance, you should take the shoe off, leave it here. Ravacha he tied some sort of palm leaves on the sandals so that he could wear them till he reaches the house. Rabavo Karach Agid Malbeniki, he tied on them like a bunch of Malbeniki, which is some sort of plant, some sort of vegetable. So Rabavo, he wanted to say Agud Malbeniki Minamuchanu, is there ready for use. It's not muksa, you can move it on Shabbos. Rav Yaina Talke, he threw his sandal right off his feet Lachanusa de Chalitra when he came to the shop of the bakers where they're scalding the doughs in the hot water. Vikar, it was a big shop where you could reach his sandal, leave his sandal there. Simcha Hava, now it was a bit further away. Sidra Yakir Shalash Rabbi the base measure from Elazar. I mean, he could have gone a bit less with the shoe and leave it there. Nevertheless, metallically, he would throw his sandal into the shop, which was nearer. Rav Yirmiyah by Kumi Rav Zira, he asked Rav Zira, Ma'al Achlif, can you change a sandal from foot to foot and go with it on Shabbos into the street? Oh, well, let's show he said so out. I feel okay. Even so, he didn't really want people to rely on this. Amalei said, go and find me another elder, Smoich Alai, and then rely on me. Navak Ashkach, he went out, Rav Yemi, he found Rabbi Mama V'Shala, he asked him, V'Shara, and he permitted it. Rav Yismas the Mishnah says, Shuhu, that a sandal, which you swap it from foot to foot, is considered malbush, a type of garment. It's an Inan, we learnt, that it's talking about Chalitza V'Yavama, if shall small be Yamin, if someone did Chalitza, the left-handed person with the right shoe, Chalitzas Kashera is still valid. So it's still considered a malbush, even if you swap it from foot to foot. Hadada Tema, and this din is what you said when most of it is broken, Lavroichav, where it's not considered broken rather, it's most of it on the width side. It's still considered a keli. However, if it's along the length of the thing, it has to cover the majority of the foot. The person shouldn't go with one sandal. Suspicion. Look, when people see one, you'll say, oh, his thing must have broken and he's carrying it under his armpit. If he's got no wound. If he has got a wound, he can wear one sandal. Now the question is, which one does he put the sandal on? The one without the wound. You want to say you put it on the one with the wound, then people will think that you're carrying the second one. Because what's stopping him? That he will put a shoe also on his second foot. Why is he not wearing a second shoe? He must be carrying it. You put the shoe on the one with the wound. Well, everyone can see you're wearing a sandal on the foot which has got a wound. And by the way, if you do want to have shoes which are fit for wounds, then you can go to Benecare Medical and you can get medical shoes for all purposes. Thank you. Shimon Baba, have a Shamish Kumar of Yochanan. Shimon Baba would work in front of Rabbi Yochanan, V'hava Moshe le sandale. He would pass him his sandal, Kanal Tani on average will open about Derech Haaretz. Because Noel, when you put the shoe on, Noel shall bin. You put the right shoe first, V'akach Noel shall small, then you put on the left. Because Shu Chayles, when you take off the shoes, Chayles shall small, V'akach Chayles shall bin. Take off the left, then you take off the right. Right? He did like this Brisa, he gave him the sandal of the right first. Amalei Rabbi Yochanan said, Bablaya, you Baghdadi, Lo Tavake, don't do this, to put the right first. Sharishonim, Lo Yois again. Now the people didn't do it. Ella, he says, Kashu Nail shall Samal, he says, put on the left. V'akar Nail shalimin, and then put on the right. Shalote Nires shalimin peguma. It shouldn't look as if there's something blemished with the right. Of course, nowadays we put the right on first, and when it comes to tying knots and things, we tie the left first. Why? Because above it brings down, the left's to do with tefillin, yeah? But the tying is to do with tefillin. And when you're taking off the shoes, we take off which one? First? Any offers?
Left.
Correct. Take off the left first. Except, let's say you're taking your shoes off on Erev Yom Kippur. It could be there, you take your right shoe off first. Because it's a covered, you're taking your shoe off. It's not a disdain, I'm fed up with this shoe. It's, I'm keeping the halachas, so I'm taking my shoe off. So some say there, you take off your right shoe first. Similarly, any kohanim who do duchening on a regular basis, like some I know, any kohanim who do duchening and take their shoes off, it's brought down, they should take off their right shoe first. Because again, it's a covered for a mitzvah, therefore they take the right shoe off. Now, I didn't know that long ago. I knew it, I only learned this around 2 or 3 months ago. I never knew it. But there we are, we live and learn. Hadar Amra, this tells you, but the Gemara here, anyway, it says you put it on the one with the wound. Now, Amar says, in Babla, that's right, to come to the late, yeah, you said the right thing. Yosef Tefillin, he wear tefillin on a Friday, but you cannot go with his shoe out Shabbos when it's getting dark. What's the difference? Tefillin you'll take off. You can't wear it at night. And so there's no chashash that you'll forget to take them off. Whereas there, but the shoe ain't dark enough, so you won't necessarily take it off. You may carry it on, wear it on Shabbos. Now you're not allowed to go with an amulet if it's not been checked out. It's mashma you can go with one which has been checked out. Right? And therefore you can definitely go with a K'miyah Mumche, right? It's recognized that it heals. Ezo K'miyah Mumche, what's the checked out one? So, it's worked 3 times. Doctors believe to say, this works. Yeah, I've used it 3 times and it's worked. If it heals one person 3 times, we know for sure it will work for that person who it healed. Shnayim, if it helps 2 people, each one 3 times, it helps for these 2. But if however Shloisha, once it helped 3 people, then it's trustworthy that it works for everyone. You can use a K'miyah Mumcha, you can use a expected K'miyah that works, Ben Biksav, where it's written down, Ben Basom, or various grasses. Don't put it on an ornament or a bracelet or a ring. Okay. And they asked for can you put K'miyah in like a pipe and go out with it on Shabbos? Amalei says, no, you cannot put it on a bracelet, it's mashma, you can't put it on a vessel made for ornaments. You can only put it in a vessel made of ornaments and not in some sort of pipe. Can you go out, which is like a revid, is like a belt on the neck connected to a garment? Amalani says, Mishem, how do they translate it there?
Necklace. A
necklace or some kind. Amalani Mishem Tachshit. Xeras Chachamim not to wear these tachshit in because of the morning of the destruction. If that's the case with Daniel Isa, it should have been forbidden for Daniel as well. But the Torah says, he had gold, the gold chain on his neck. And there was no gezerah then. If you're worried about the load, maybe we should say, anything connected to a garment or exus like a garment. So the Gemara talks about the heter to have a mumcha, k'miyah mumcha, yeah? And we're talking about other things of ripoy, of healing, which you're allowed to do. Aros ribun, Harav YCD. Markoshenis rapes, nosin allowed here. A makkah which is now healed, you can put a bandage on it. It maintains its status. It doesn't physically heal. It just keeps it in its state. Yeah. Rabbi Ovon b'shem Rabbanan Taman, they said, "Nosin Allah al gabe makkah b'Shabbos." You can put some sort of leaf or whatever it is on a wound on Shabbos, but again, it's just guarding it. It's not doing anything else. Said you can put all types. Not vines, because they proper heal. Rav Hona said, Hadar Pua. Pua is some sort of posies, some sort of plant. Ikar Tav Sagin, the roots are very good for refuah. Kadis Bechamsha Kitrin, Shiva, when it has 5 Kitrin, 5 sort of knots in it, some learn. Shiva Kitrin 7, Tisha Kitrin 9. When it's got these knots, whatever, but don't. No, none of its waters should come out. It helps only if you didn't put water on it. Others learn other conditions. It didn't see the sun, or it didn't see the moon, or the rain. Okay. You cannot read a pasuk on a wound. The ones who read Al Yavrucha on the illness called Yavrucha, also is forbidden to do it. One says, look, read this pasuk on my son, because Shum is biased, he's a bit afraid, and this will calm him down. 10 I love sefer, I'll put a sefer on him, or 10 I love tefillin, he should sleep. Also, it's forbidden to hear these words and to do these things. But we've learned that they said the share psukim, like the number of tehillim, which is to save from the demons and so on, and pagayim and bad things, mazikin, they would say various tehillim. Yerushalmi, when they strengthened the walls of the city, or the Azara, the base of Mikdash, so they read psukim to guard from mazikim. So therefore you should read psukim to guard from refuah. Our reviews and Khan, when they forbade it, mishanifka, when a person's already hurt from it, so you can't use the Torah to heal him. Whereas Khan, where you're allowed to read the psukim, is al shaloi nifka, before he's hurt. What is that? Shem Marab Tzarai, which is Tehillim number 3, and B'chol HaMizvah, the Mizvah to the end, and also Yosef said to Elian, until Kiata Hashem Masti Elin San Vaynacha, which is Tehillim 91. Okay, Lo Tetzei Isha B'machat Nakuva, a woman should not go out with a hole in her head. Basically, it's a needle, which has got a hole to put a thread through. A ring that has a seal, which is an ornament which you would close the garment. It's like buttons. It has a button for it. Which is a besamim in a container. And other balsam oil. If he goes with these things into the street, is liable. These two. He said these two things are tachshit, and you're allowed to go with din Torah. The tailor cannot go with his needle in his vessel. The scribe with his ink, with his pen. The dyer with his example of colours, of dyes, which is connected behind his ear. Or the shopkeeper, the one who changed money, but with a dinar coin, which is again behind his ear. If they did a Areda B'Torah, they're potter from Chatos, they're not over Torah. It's not considered a Tzalkadarka, it's like a Shinoi. They said, if he did it in his trade, like he does, the people in their trade, all these things hide their liable. But other people can go like this. We have a contradiction to Ramah. Tanina Taman we've learned elsewhere in our Mishnah. Remember, Taman over here means our Mishnah. If a woman goes with a needle with a hole, chayev chatas, even though men don't go like this. It's still a hatzah for a woman. And here, he says a craftsman takes his keli of his craftsmanship, like other people don't do it. He's not over Torah. It is considered a hatzah b'shinoi. Rav Mada, he says he said it without any names. Rav Amar he says Taman. There the Mishnah going out with a machan nakuva is chayim and atayim because they're chatzah b'nashim. Women go out like this. So they'll find a case, one of their garments needs a bit of repair. But here, tefillin, the tailors are less important. It means more the apprentices go out with this. Yeah, you agree? Chavish doesn't do Rabbanon. We have a contradiction. This is Chacham Poitrin. Chachamim pass from Machatas, someone who goes with Kobeles, with Besamim, with his Lachashal Plaitan, or with a container of this oil, because Chachamim argue on Rameh these two things. Is Mashma Habamachat Nakuva. The implication is that the needle with a hole, they agree to Rameh that Chayav is Chayav Chachas. But in this brisa, the Chacham say, the tradesman is chayav when he goes with a needle. It's mashma that other people, men and women, are pasul. Rav said, Tifta Bisha Gideles. We're talking about a case where it's a woman, where it's her trade to repair the hair of women. And the needle is part of her trade. Therefore, even according to Chachamim, it's chayav chatzas, because it's the way of her trade. Rav Achav Shem Rav Abba Bar Rav Nachman, Rav Nachemi. This is the view. Are we going to say our Mishnah is view from Nehemiah and not the Chachamim? The Tanil and Tamam, we learned elsewhere, Taba'al Shal Mateches, a metal ring, V'chaisim Shal Almoig. Now the seal might be made of acorns and things? Corals. Tamei, then it's Tamei, can receive Tumah. Because the main ring is the main thing, a metal keli, receive Tumah. Taba'al Shal Almoig, a ring of corals, V'chaisama Shal Mateches, the seal, which is metal, tahira, then it doesn't receive tumah because the ring is made of coral and which has got a deal of wood. Things of wood don't receive tumah. Tani relates to the price from Nachman Mechemia Mechalif. He changed the din he mentioned in Mishnah. He said the ring of metal where the seal is coral doesn't receive tumah. The ring of coral where the seal is metal receives tumah. He held the seal is the main thing, not the ring. He said with tabas, with the ring, you follow the seal, and the ring receives tumah when the seal is made from something that receives tumah. The sulam, with regards to receiving tumah and say a ladder, you follow the rungs. But koilav, receiving tumah of koilav, which is like a pillar that the shopkeeper hangs his stuff on to show it to everyone. You look at what it's holding it up. But oil with the yoke of an animal, span yarov. You look at the things that connect the various poles of the yoke. The Chachamim hold the ring with the seal, mending is the ring. Therefore, Karas Tumah of the ring depends on that. Rav Nechemia held that the seal is the main thing. So according to him, the din of Karas Tumah depends on the seal. And according to the Chachamim, going out on Shabbos with a ring which has got a seal depends if the ring is a tachshit or masa. We don't follow the seal. And the women go and wear these things as tachshit. So we look at the ring as got a chaysim like a tachshit. It's more an ornament and not a load. But according to Nehemiah, a ring which has a seal depends on the seal. And since the seal is not a tachshit, therefore it's a problem of carrying. Our Ravila, Tifta, we could explain our Mishnah, Kedivra Kol, like everyone, if she wore this thing precisely for using the seal, then everyone agrees that even the Chachamim will say the seal is the main thing, because she's only carrying it not for beauty, but only to use it. A ring that was made for both purposes, to seal and an ornament. If she took it out to seal, so seal the shem tachshit, took it for an ornament, she's potter even on the seal. The seal is secondary to the ornament. Okay, to be continued, Rabbi Say.